Boom, baby. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to go over for loops real quick. And if you don't know what a for loop is, basically in computer science, a for loop is it's like a control flow statement, and it has a condition, okay? And it's primarily used for iterating through things or iterations. So if you have an array, and you want to iterate through each piece of data inside that array, or maybe iterate through some sort of data structure, you'd probably be doing that in a for loop or some kind of loop like it, all right? And how I'm going to show you guys how it works is I'm basically just going to make a for loop and then print out what's going on inside the for loop, okay, as like a visual representation. And as you can see here, I have my little terminal pulled up, all right? Then I got my text editor, and I'm actually using Java for the language as the medium to represent this, but it really doesn't matter what language that you're doing it in. The concept is the same, okay, and the syntax is pretty much the same in every language too. So first of all, let's just get started. All right, first you need to make a main method, okay, in Java. So if you don't know Java, don't worry about this. It's just making a main method so that I can execute some kind of function that I'm going to make, okay? So public static void main string args. All right, that's done. All right, so next I'm just going to make a function that makes a for loop, iterates through it, and then prints during the iteration of the for loop, right? And that should be enough to visually represent what's going on so that you guys can see and understand, okay? And I'm just going to call this guy, let's just call this guy print loops. Nah, let's call him print for loop. Okay, so first things first, in order to print it, we have to have the loop to print itself, right? So let's do that real quick. All right, so as you can see, I had this little for keyword, okay? And that's the keyword in Java for a for loop. And it's probably the keyword in almost every other language for a for loop, but anyway, they all kind of work the same, okay? So you have three things that are going on in a for loop in the condition, all right? I'll just write a comment up here. The first thing is a start point. The second thing is an end point. And the third thing is whether it's going to increment up or down or increment by some kind of number, all right? Okay. So, and we're going to use an index for that. We'll just call it I, all right? So I'm just going to make a variable int I and set it equal to 0, okay? So boom, that's our start point right there. Our start point is 0. All right, now we need our endpoint. So we're gonna end when I is less than 5, okay? And then I just wanna say, I want it to increment I by 1 each iteration, so I plus plus. All right, so now all that's left is I'm just gonna print out the value of I during the current iteration of the loop, okay? All right, so I is currently, and then I. All right, this should work. Now that's all that's left is I just need to make a loops object from this class. I'll just call it obj equals new loops. And again, if you don't know Java, this really doesn't matter. Obj dot print for loop. All right, so all we're doing there is calling that function, and I'm just going to compile this real quick. Java C loops dot Java. Okay, now I'm going to run it. Java loops. All right, boom. As you can see, all right, we only have one print sentence here, right? But something got printed out 5 times, okay? And that's because that's just how a for loop works. We have this code inside the curly braces, okay? And it gets continuously executed over and over and over again until this condition up here is no longer satisfied, all right? So let's look at exactly what happened. So before anything even gets printed out, we know that I equals 0 because we created it that way, right? We made an integer called I, set it equal to 0, right? Now the condition is I is less than 5. So basically, is I at this point in time less than 5? Well, it's 0. So yeah, it's less than 5. All right. So you can think of it like this. Now the code in here is going to get executed. And then I is going to get incremented, right? So I plus plus 0 plus 1 is 1, right? And look, that's exactly what happens. So I is currently 0. And now we're going to add 1 to it. And now we're going to go through the loop again. So now I is no longer 0. It's 1. Okay. Is 1 less than 5? Yes. 1 is less than 5. So we're going to execute the sequence of code. It's going to print out that I is 1. All right. And now we're going to add one more. So I plus plus. All right. And what is 1 plus 1, guys? 1 plus 1 is 2. Surprise. Who wouldn't funk it? All right. So now we're starting over again with the precedent that I is equal to 2. Okay. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, it is. Print it out. Show it over here. All right. Now it's got added 1 added to it. So I plus plus 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay. Is 3 less than 5? Yeah. Same thing happens. All right. Is 4 less than 5? Yeah. Same thing happens. Okay. Now I is going to be 5 at this point, okay? Is 5 less than 5? No. No, I think we can all agree that 5 is not less than 5, okay? So that condition is no longer valid. This sequence gets executed and exited, all right? So it's done with that, and then that's it. I hope you guys understood that. If you don't understand something, just drop a comment. I'll try to do the best I can to explain it, but this is pretty simple stuff. So if you liked what you saw, please leave a like. I'll see you guys later.